Welcome to the Own It Show. I'm Heather Lee Chapman, your holistic performance and business coach. And I'm so excited to be here with you all today. It's time to stop sacrificing your health and freedom and start scaling your results in your business and all areas of your life. Here at Own It Empire, we help entrepreneurs become high performers and increase their awareness so they can increase their impact and create profitable business online so that you can truly own it. Welcome back to the Own It Show. I'm Heather Lee Chapman, your host and coach. And today we are talking all about how to own your worth and amplify your impact and business with DeDee Cai, who is your advocate to charge your worth and amplify your impact. So I'm so excited for today's conversation. It's one of the first times we've actually talked about charging your worth, and we know how essential it is. And so I'm so excited to dive in this topic with you, DeDee. So please introduce yourself and tell us more about yourself and your entrepreneurial journey.
Yes, thank you so much, Heather, for holding space for us. And thank you so much for having me. I'm delighted and honored to be here. And wow, it has been a personal journey for sure. And I love this topic so much. It's dear and near to my heart. As a first generation immigrant, I had a playbook set out for me to do exactly as is so that way I can achieve ultimate happiness. And I did all of that. I went to school, did really well, and then landed my first corporate job. And I sat in a cubicle and realized that this does not match my definition of happiness. And that position was very short lived for about almost 6 months. Right after that, I also had a blessing, I guess, in disguise, an opportunity to start my very first brick and mortar business with my mother as a business partner, and I jumped right on it. If working for someone else, building someone else's dream wasn't my purpose, then maybe perhaps building this time around, this is the American dream, right? Like, so we put all of our life savings until in this business and built the restaurant from scratch. And yeah, once again, I found myself pretty successful at first. I built this business to be that hole in the wall that everyone knew. I love being a part of the community, and I had great connections with everyone. I knew every single person that called on the phone or steps into that door. I know exactly what they wanted. They never had to say a word to be delivered, the foods that they love. And so 3.5 years in, I found myself. This was the moment that defined my career as a brick and mortar business owner. Was when I was traveling in the most beautiful place, Venice, Italy, with my boyfriend at the time, my husband now. And it was misty. It was raining outside. We were sitting in a cafe, waiting on our favorite pastry, having a cup of coffee. And I just, for whatever it was, could not focus on him. Like he was trying to so hard to have a conversation with me. And all I was doing was staring down at my phone. That was the moment where I realized I was actually waiting on a phone call from the restaurant, as if I'm waiting to put out a fire. I was waiting for a shoe to drop. That's why I looked up at him and said, you know what? Something has to change when we go back. So that has to be a moment where I realized that brick and mortar wasn't for me either. And it was a hard conversation that I have to have with my mom, being the only child and the golden child, and to tell her that I don't want to do it any longer was a big deal. And but I did it, and it was looking up, right? Like, to me, I could say that those were failures, but I also believe in failing forward. So it's back to back, repeated. Like, I mean, first fail with corporate, second fail with the business. I'm like, okay, we're good. That's okay. We're going to move on. And truly, I was going to take that next step of whatever it was going to be. But honestly, it was more so of, I'm going to pause everything and take the time to figure out what I'm really meant to do. just for context, I was always that kid that always had this question in the back of my mind of like, what am I supposed to do with my life? Like, what is this thing? Like, I always question everything that I was told to do, but I did it anyway because I trusted the people that came before me and my mom, my parents, my uncles, and everybody like in my family. And so that question came back clear and loud that what are you supposed to do? Like you tried two things and it didn't pan out. Like what is it that you're going for now? And so this is I was already in my I want to say mid 20s at the by this time, or actually late 20s. And so I was going to take a big step back and decide what I wanted to do. And yes, life happens and amazing things happens, right? Like when you focus on yourself, my boyfriend proposed. So I said, perhaps that's it. Like this is where we're turning the leaf. I'm going to start a brand new life, and let's just get married first and figure it out. And it was, I have to say, the most beautiful time of a few months, where we got to plan the wedding and everything was perfect. And 2 weeks was it 2 weeks? No, 10 days before my wedding, I got a phone call from my friend's boyfriend, and was a very casual conversation. He was just saying that, hey, have you seen Tatiana? I haven't seen her since Sunday, and since you saw her last, I was the last person to see her. Let me know if you talked to her this week, because we're trying to plan something this week and I haven't heard from her. And I said, okay, yeah, sure. And 2 days in, I of course was trying to get in touch with her. I didn't hear back from her. And unfortunately, I believe it was Wednesday, was when we were looking at details for the restaurant, the venue of our wedding, and everything, when I got a dreaded phone call from my friend's boyfriend. And he said, they found her. So that has to be one of the biggest uh, moments of my life. I lost her to suicide, unfortunately. I buried her July 4th, and our wedding was July 7th. But it was also I want to say, a rude awakening, because her death showed me that I actually was also suffering from in silence with depression and anxiety as well.
Mm.
Mind you, because I was doing everything from the outside to fulfill someone else's expectations of me. That's why I was burnt out. That's why I was depleted. That's why I felt broken, because I was not living my life. I was not owning my voice. And yeah, that's why I felt lost. So it was literally, Heather, it was either life or death.
I'm
So
so glad you chose life.
I chose life. And um, I have two, I guess, vows or promises in addition to my wedding vow, that no one should ever have to go through what I went through that week. But how was I going to do that? Is, well, first, perhaps I had to heal myself. So honestly, that's how everything started unfolding. That's how I found my purpose for taking care of myself from the physical standpoint. I started exercising, eating healthy, taking time out for myself, practicing mindfulness leads to into holistic health and all of the things. And how I discovered the coaching industry. And that was when I said, this is the vehicle. This is how I'm going to help people. And that's how Fit to Profit was born, out of my purpose for helping others, saving lives, and then also just teaching people how to be physically, mentally, emotionally, and also spiritually fit, as I truly believe that everything that has happened to me, including all of the obstacles and also with the tragedy, is that now I have the responsibility to teach others how I overcome all of the challenges and still come through the other side. So that's honestly my journey, and also the reason why I started the business and the reason why I do what I do, is to really teach women how to love themselves, how to own their worth, how to truly be in alignment, with who they are. and go after, whatever it is they want. And I truly believe that every single woman, especially women entrepreneurs, can have it all. And we just have to be willing to invest in ourselves relentlessly without any negotiation. Like, it's a non-negotiable that we invest in ourselves. Unless we do that, we can't serve anyone, nor could we be great asset to a company if you are working a job. That is why I stand for people charging their worth, earning what they deserve, and going after building, freedom and having the wealth that they deserve.
Well, first of all, thank you for sharing that story. What an incredible journey you've been on. And I love the failing forward, right? No failure, only feedback. And thank you for sharing about your friend. Death by suicide is something we've dealt with a family member as well. And it is one of the hardest things. I was one of the last ones to speak to my grandfather before that happened as well. So I know that can also take a lot of toll on that individual. So taking that introspection and that time to turn it around, to heal yourself and fill your cup so that you can pour from a full cup instead of an empty cup. And instead of choosing the should-haves, like I should do this and please everyone else, you started to truly dive in and ask what would fill your heart, fill your cup, and leave you happy and fulfilled at the end of the day. Because I know that if we don't follow what our true calling is, dis-ease sets in.
Yes.
And so there's this book called The Right Mountain, and it changed my life because I was doing what I thought I should be doing. And when I read this book, I realized that I wasn't doing what I wanted to be doing, what my calling was. I just was doing what I thought I was good at. And so I thought, well, I'm good at this, so I'm going to go do this. Yet there was always something going, and you're supposed to be over here, by the way. And finally to tune in and to listen to that calling. It takes courage. It takes confidence. It takes support and by the right people who will believe in you and your dreams and only be in a state of possibility and faith and moving forward, and to be able to surround yourself in that environment, that kind of community, and put self first above all others. And yes, of course, as you know, I'm all about sales is serving and being in the energy of service. And we can't serve if our cup is empty. And I know from many entrepreneurs, that's exactly where you are. You're burnt out, overwhelmed, tired. And often that has to do with saying yes to opportunities that aren't in alignment with our highest good and our deepest calling, and also not charging our worth, which then has us overworking. And sometimes the courage is in the saying no, right? Sometimes the magic and the courage is in the no to past opportunities, current opportunities, and creating space for yeses of new things that will take you to where you want to go. And by saying yes to things that aren't in alignment with us, you're saying no to other things that could come in and take that space. And so I'm glad you started to say no to the opportunities that were no longer filling your cup, and instead say yes to that inner calling, because now you get to live your purpose on purpose. You got to take the tragedies, the failures, the obstacles, and have a solution-oriented mindset and turn around and see how you could serve with all that you've learned. And that's the magic of being an entrepreneur and what we truly get to do. We've all had our own journey. So this is why I love to have the stories told, because maybe you have an idea and you're in the audience and you're like, I think I could be, or I'd like to, yet I've been doing everything that I thought I was supposed to, yet something's still missing. And so we want to inspire you to not only get on the journey, also to stay on it, and then to thrive, to thrive, because if we continually put ourselves on the back burner and don't follow our calling, we can't truly thrive. And you have some amazing tips for us today so people can thrive. They can begin to profit. They can begin to live happy and fulfilled and truly own your worth and amplify your impact, and that impact your business can have as well. So thank you so much for being on the show and all you've shared. It takes courage to be vulnerable, and so we really, really appreciate that.
Yes, absolutely. It's my truly honor to be able to share the story and that to let others see the light at the end of the tunnel, right? Like that every obstacle is an opportunity and that, you have already overcome the most difficult, phase and period of your life up until this point. So nothing else is going to take you down. So keep going. No action is good or bad. It's just action that is actually going to move you forward. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Absolutely. Stay with the work. 100%.
I love it. And resilience is something we must build as entrepreneurs. Resilience, resilience, resilience. How many times can you pick yourself back up? I love this saying, Edison found 9,999 ways a light bulb didn't work, and then he found one that it did. So aren't we all glad that he didn't quit and instead chose to fail forward? So I love that. Let's dive into your incredible tips. Take it away.
Yeah. So as you heard already, right? Like until I own that I have the responsibility for myself and everything that I have up until that point was for me, right? Like that I need to own myself first before I can do anything else. So that's why I started taking care of myself. So 100%, if you want more profit in your business, if you want better relationships, if you want healthier body, you have to invest in yourself. You have to prioritize you first, and that means self-care. And I want to really debunk the myth that everyone thinks that self-care is selfish. I'm here
Mm.
to tell you that self-care is selfless. Unless, like Heather was saying, you are serving from a full cup, there is anything that you can't do. So it's really important that first own that you deserve that next level of anything and everything and invest in yourself in doing that. And resilient has been spelled out for you already. So 80% of all the work is also mindset. So how can you incorporate that into your daily rhythm, into your schedule of you prioritizing mindset work? Where is that on your calendar? Right? Because business is not just tactic and strategy of, okay, I need to put out a reel. I need to, have another sales call. But here's the thing. If you're not stepping into a sales call inspired, if you're not stepping into a sales call because you're so convicted to the transformation that you want to create for your clients, that message is not going to resonate. So you have to do a lot of prep work before your sales call, before anything. So how is that? What are you doing about the 80%? Because business is 80% mindset. So that has to be on your schedule somewhere. That happens to be part of my morning routine and my evening routine. And it's now my non-negotiable. So that's my other tip for you. How are you prioritizing mindset in your day to day? Okay. And then last but not least,
Before we dive into that, I even would love to ask. So, first, she said, build your self worth to increase your net worth. And that means putting yourself first and filling your cup. Then she was talking about the 80-20 rule. Focus on 80% building yourself and 20% building the business. We know everything is energy. Energy is neither created nor destroyed, only transferred. And so, what are we transferring? Are we transferring, I'm burnt out, I don't have time and energy to serve you? Or are you coming in with the message that, like, I can't wait to transform your life with you? And so that's so essential. And you were saying that there's things that you do in your PM and AM routines that fill your cup and put yourself first before you go and serve. Would you mind sharing what some of that is?
yes, absolutely. It's actually my favorite topic at all times is my ritual. So literally in the morning, what I would do is I would get up. I have my 4 F's, which is my daily non-negotiables, is faith, fitness, family, fulfillment. That's my
Woo! Say it
schedule.
again. I love it.
Faith, fitness, family, fulfillment is exactly in that order. I get up, I'll do my devotional, I'll do a little journaling, I'll listen to something inspirational, I'll set my intention for the day, and then I'll exercise. Like, and then I'll tend to the kids, get them ready for school, then I'll work. You can work all day and every day and for the rest of your life. So that's really my rhythm of what my daily schedule looks like. So that's my morning routine. Evening routine is definitely all about winding down. Like, it's drinking tea, it's definitely doing gratitude with the kids and the family right before bed. It's reading with them. And then ultimately, like, reflection on, oh my gosh, what were the greatest moments and the highlights of my day? Because if you can go to bed with that, you can really put your head on a pillow and say, yes, that was the day, right? And so that is applying mindset work and making it a priority to be at least 80% of your day. And this last tip, as you can see, you know how you can go into the downward spiral and you spin there and you stay there. So this last tip, kind of like that, but it's actually going to spin you upward, because the last piece to this, I'm so excited, is that you get to design your work around your schedule. That's why I have my fourth phase. You see how I work last? Put
Mm.
everything else, prioritize everything else first. So, as a business owner, especially when you have this freedom, make sure that you put all of your personal things into your calendar first. Then you plan all the other work around it. I mean, literally, okay, first and foremost, I know Q4, there's Christmas, there's no Thanksgiving, there's whatever, right? Those days off better be on there already. Then you do your launches, or you do your podcast interviews, or you do your, tours or launches, whatever, around your schedule. So always design your business around your life and not the other way around. And that's a big difference between you working for someone else's dream versus your own dream. Because ultimately, your dream is to have your own business for freedom. So are you exercising that? So make sure that you're designing all of the work around your personal life, and that becomes that upward spiral, right? Like, you work when you want to work, you work when you are available, and then you can take care of yourself when you need to because you're prioritizing that. Guess what? Then at the end, the bottom line is you feel fulfilled, happy, complete, and you're always serving from a full cup. That's
I
the
love,
that's the cycle.
I love
And
it.
that's exactly how I operate my life and business.
And it's so important to build your dream life and your dream business and the dream business around the dream life, and putting you, your faith, your family, your vacations, your self-care, all the things in first into your calendar. Bob Proctor was one of my mentors, and he said, whatever is in your calendar, you're trading your life for. So I hope it's worth you. And so we in our program actually create what we call our dream schedules, and we encourage you to update it on the regular. So you actually take everything out of the calendar, because everything that you've put in there, you're allowing. And then you're going to take it all out, and you're going to really choose to prioritize what you put back in from the lens of focus of, you can pick your 4 F's or whatever that looks like to you, but just making sure that's in alignment with you. And I speak to this because I know, as a business owner, for almost a decade and a half now, that a lot of people, including myself in the beginning, build themselves another job.
Yeah.
And so that's why she's saying it's so important to build that dream business around the dream life instead of building yourself another job. And that's the magic in what you get to do as an entrepreneur. So whatever you're doing in that calendar, that is your life. That's what you're trading it for. So fill you and your cup first so you can live happy and fulfilled and leave that impact that you're meant to, and then put everything else in.
Yes, absolutely. It's quite simple. I mean, as you can see, it's basically prioritizing self-care, prioritizing your mindset work, and then working your work around your life. That is it. Like, I mean, like, it can't be simpler than that. And everything else is just little details that you can adjust. But those have got to be, that's our company structure. That's how, yeah, that's how I started my business with. And ultimately, that's how we are still, like, almost 10 years in. Next year is going to be 10 years for us. That's how I operate my life. And that's why some people always say, like, how? Well, that's how. Like I just don't compromise. with
Mm.
certain things. I just don't compromise with my workout. I don't compromise with my meditation time. I don't compromise with my time with the kids. So when I am working, I'm not feeling guilty for not spending time with them. And then when I'm spending time with them, I'm not feeling bad for taking time off. Like there's always the conflict in between. It's because you don't have your priorities straight and you're not fully present for all of the things that you need to do in your life. And ultimately, usually what happened is, don't get me wrong, I was that person that put everything on a calendar, and it was more of like chasing the checklist, the to-do list more so than being intentional. I honestly right now don't allow myself more than 3 things every quarter. Like literally, I just wrote down Q4, 1, 2, 3.
Love
These
it.
are the 3 things. One
Absolutely.
goal, three three projects to go towards that goal. Then I take that 3 projects and break it down per month. So it will be October, November, December. And then within that month, that's how I break down the weekly schedule. And on the weekly schedule, I have what we call the MIT, which is most important task for the day. And I only do the one task. I don't deviate from the one task that needs to be done on a daily basis. That's going to get me to that weekly goal. That's get me to the monthly goal. That's get me to the quarterly goal. Like it's just not, it's like we get to simplify, right? The process. And it really starts from really building that foundation on the 3 tips that I have provided.
And I love that. So what you just snuck in there was an incredible other tip for you is to reverse engineer your goals. And what we call them is the containers in your calendars. So one of my favorite books is The One Thing. And he says everybody struggles because they have too many priorities
Yeah,
instead of a priority. And she's got it on the bookshelf there. And that's exactly why she does what she does, because this is essential. You're going to take what is your focus, and then you're going to reverse engineer that into the tasks that you need to do monthly, weekly, and daily. And then you actually have to create the container in your calendar and then do the thing. Keep that promise to yourself. Because often that one thing that's going to make the biggest difference of us is the thing that gets pushed to the last. My business coach used to like to call it pseudo work. We will find everything and anything else to do to fill that time. And then we're like, oh, I guess don't have time to do that. And that's unconscious self-sabotaging behavior that keeps you away from your goals and procrastinating your life away. And so that's why it's so important to know what you want, where you're going, have it go through the filters of self-care and self-worth first, and creating those containers in your calendars and keeping those promises to yourself. And so I love that. That is how we stay focused and prioritized instead of busy and overwhelmed, and avoid the burnout, and instead live happy and fulfilled. So you have a gift or a opt-in here for people. So tell us about that and why they should grab that.
Yes, absolutely. First and foremost, if you liked anything that I've shared so far, come become a part of our community. We'll be sending out tips and tricks for you of how you can definitely prioritize your schedule, focus on the one thing if that's what you want to focus on. But we're all about being at peak performance here. Ultimately, I truly believe that you can charge your worth and amplify your impact. So, being a part of our community, I have a couple of trainings tied up in this funnel as well, to where you can sell from your soul without feeling salesy, really stand in your own confidence and your unique proposition and sell your heart out, because I really truly believe selling is serving. So become a part of that. You will love the training, and also we'll get to know each other. So be part of your community.
I love that. So guys, that link is below right now. You're going to want to click it. You want to grab it, and make sure that you get connected with DeeDe, because she is incredible. And everything she taught you today could literally change your life. Because I know that some of the principles that actually all the principles that she's talked about are ones that I've implemented and have changed my life. And so thank you so much, DeeDe. Now you're going to tell us what your favorite book is and why. And it was also a little plug, and I'm super excited. I love having authors on the show. So tell us about it.
Yes. And so I'm a little biased, but there's a book called The Overcomer: Conquer Your Fear to Achieve Your Goals by yours truly. And I put my heart and soul into this book, because not only it's was my dream for 15 years, it was also my grandfather's dream to publish a book, but he passed away soon after a episode, and he didn't get a chance to leave the legacy for us. But ultimately, I channel my fear into positivity during the pandemic, and I just wrote a book and turned it into a positive project with the intention to share my own stories and then other stories of other entrepreneurs of how they overcome their own fear of and triumph to become successful. And that success is not always sunny and unicorns, but really being able to embrace your own resilience and also really trusting, the process. So this book is all about that. It has tips and tricks of how you can set goals, how you can overcome fear, how to manage procrastination, how to identify self-sabotage, imposter syndrome, all of the things. It's more like a memoir format. However, it's kind of like also a playbook as well too, with tips and frameworks that you can actually apply. And yeah, last but not least, you'll get to know me, and yeah, we can actually have a conversation about maybe perhaps a lot of what I share here is what you have overcome. So I would love to have a conversation. I'm just a message away as well. So you can find me on social media.
Amazing. And we'll make sure we drop that link in the chat so you can grab that book today, The Overcomer. And I love it. What a beautiful title. So DeDee, incredible. Thank you for turning what you've gone through into your mission and helping other people own life by design and truly live to profit and set themselves up for success to live out their dream life and their calling. So thank you for all that you do, for the light that you bring into this world. And thank you for being a guest on the Own It Show today.
Likewise, same thing for you, Heather, too, for having this show, holding the space for all of us. I really truly believe that this is how we can collectively change the world, one person at a time. I just wish that our message is being delivered to that one person that needs it the most today, and that I truly believe that you are willing to invest in yourself, you can have it all.
I love that. So if you're truly willing to invest in yourself, you can have it all. DeDee Cai, thank you so much. So remember, everybody, stay happy, healthy, wealthy, expect magic and miracles, and what is the best that can happen? We'll see you on the next episode. Thank you. Thank you so much for tuning into the Own It Show today. Make sure to leave a review and subscribe. We want to thank you for your time and energy and extend the invite for you to join us in the Own It community on Facebook, an incubator for conscious entrepreneurs so that they can step into their greatness. We have tons of free trainings and resources for you, as well as a great opportunity to network with people leaving a positive impact on this world. Make sure to come back for next week's show. Have an incredible day. Remember, expect magic and miracles. Stay happy, healthy, and wealthy.